Welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Melanie if you're new here, and this is my Flosstube channel where I share my obsession with cross stitch. Sometimes I do some sewing on my sewing machine Eugenie and I share that too, but mainly it's cross stitch. So welcome. If you're a returning friend, thank you so much for coming back to check on me and spend some time with me. I love this community. I love each and every one of you, and it really means a lot to me that you stop by and say hi. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm sure you're obsessed with cross stitch just like I am, and maybe we can enable each other a little. So let me start the day by telling you about this new tea that I have found. This is by the Republic of Tea. It is wild blueberry. This is so good. I have a hard time finding teas that I like I want to be a tea drinker, but I have a hard time finding teas that I like, I guess, more than coffee. So this one is really good, and it comes in like these very low waist packaging, like they don't have the strings and the tags. So check it out if you're aspiring to be a tea drinker, because it's really, really yummy. So let me give you the agenda for today. We've got a lot to cover. I've got so much to go through. So I'll give you quick life updates. We're going to go right into the giveaway to announce the winners from last time. I've got 2 finishes. We'll talk about my whips, an upcoming new start, some stitchy kindness, some market haul, a lot of haul, no shame. A shout out for a Flosstuber I'd like you guys to go check out, and the happy card. So let's get started. We have a lot to talk about. So spring is upon us, and I am here for it. We have been trying to get out, me and the dogs, and do some walking on some of these nice sunny days in Michigan, and it just feels good to have just that wonderful sunshine and fresh air and not be freezing. I mean, I love winter, I do, but I'm ready for winter to be done now. So we've been doing some walking, and I've been looking through my flower catalog and doing some plans. I want to kind of redo what I did last year with the perennials. I've got these visions in my mind. So we're going to try and be master gardener this year. So getting that stuff done. Last weekend we celebrated my niece Grace's birthday. She turned 13. Oh, mwah! Happy birthday, baby girl. I can't believe it. I swear, yesterday she was just this tiny little thing I was carrying around. I don't think anything marks the time as much as children, because they just grow and change so fast. It's crazy. Next weekend is my niece Sophie's birthday, so we're super excited about that. She's turning 5. So just a lot of good family stuff. I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of you who reached out to me regarding my health issues. I can't even tell you how much this community means to me, and how many days all of your comments and prayers and well wishes just really picked me up. I am truly, truly grateful for all of you, and I just can't tell you how much it means. So thank you so much for all of that. Health-wise, I'm hanging in here. I am still getting some testing done to get to the bottom of things. So hopefully by the end of April, I'll have some good answers. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Okay, let's start with giveaways. So the charts that I'm giving away this week, per my last video, this first one is Berry Cottage by Plum Street Samplers. I absolutely adore this one. I love the colors in it, number one. It's got that summery vibe. And the winner for this is Just Jennifer KY. So Jennifer, reach out to me. I will put my email in the drop-down box below, and I will get this off in the mail to you. Congratulations. Okay, and then next I was giving away Harvest Angel by La Di Da. This is an older chart, 2007. I love this chart. I think the colors, this is one of those where the picture, you can tell it's going to be beautiful. The picture doesn't quite give it enough justice. So the winner of this is Debbie Sisk. So Debbie, get a hold of me, email me, my information's in the drop-down box below, and I'll get this out in the mail to you. I really hope that you ladies enjoy those charts and do some fun stitchy starts. We all need the stitchy starts. Okay, so for the giveaway this time, I would like to give away this heart and hand chart, Birds and the Bees. This was a gift to me from my sweet friend Sandy. She's in my stitchy circle, and I just have so many things I need to stitch. Unless I can figure out how to live to be 250 years old, I don't think I'm going to squeeze this one in. So it's just adorable. It's like a summer vibe chart. It's got the little beehive, super tall, and all the little flowers, and it's just adorable. I love it. So gives me the spring vibe. If you would like to be entered for this, just put the word bee, B-E-E, in your comment, and I will draw a winner for that next video. Okay, let's talk finishes. I've been having a difficult time, as I know every one of you have. All of these market patterns came out, and somebody said it. I don't know who said it. It might have been Lisa Smith. I can't remember who said it, but no, I think it was Amy, the Globetrotting Stitcher, mentioned this. She said, you know, market's normally great, but there was something about this year's market that just, there were very few patterns I can say that I honestly didn't want to stitch. And so, yeah, the must stitch list that I have made up has gotten larger. Start taking vitamins and all these things. Like I said, I'm going to need to live to be 250 years old. So I have been trying, along with some of these new market starts that I've done, I've been trying to clean up some of my whips, because I still love my whips too. I love every single one of them, and I've got the sister pack this year to get some of these whips done and off the list. So I did focus on some whips. So my goal in the month of March was to finish 2 whips, and I did that. The first one is Valentine House Trio. So I've done this top house here. It's sitting behind me right there by my lamp. And I was working on this one here with the 2 doves. So fun, such beautiful colors. I will say I really enjoyed this stitch. It's just beautiful. So I stitched this on 32 count, beautiful beige. I used all the called for threads, 2 over 2, and it is finished. Isn't it so cute? I just love that colorful pink and red. I love the bunting. I love stitching a house. I just absolutely love stitching a house, and that funky tree. So I'm excited. My vision for these, although I have that one in the frame right now, my vision for these is to turn them into kind of dangling large ornaments that I can hang from a shelf for a Valentine display. So I was super happy to get that one done. And I have to say thank you to Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy. She did a French knots tutorial, and I definitely needed to brush up on my French knot skills. I was getting a little bit lazy and just, you know, not even trying, just going straight for a bead. And so I wanted to try, and I will say it didn't turn out so bad. The 2 dove eyes, one might be a little bit larger than the other, but no 2 eyes are the same, so I'm gonna roll with it. But yeah, thank you, Sarah. That really helped me out. It came at the perfect time because I was just getting to some of the back stitching and the French knots in this, and so it was really helpful. Okay, my next finish was also a Valentine theme. This is by Threadwork Primitives. It's called Endless Hearts. My mom got me this for Christmas. I absolutely adored this chart when I saw it. There's something just about the simplicity and the repeating pattern and kind of those vintagey colors. I loved this so much. I loved stitching it. It was such a joy. So I stitched mine on 36 count Patriots Brew by R&R, 2 over 2 using all the called for threads. And there's my finish. Isn't that adorable? Oh, I love it so much. It really did not take long to stitch, as you can see. It's not a huge pattern. Then once you got in the rhythm of doing all of the repeats, it was just such a joy. I'm definitely going to turn this into a long pillow, just like the front of the pattern showed, and I will have this out for my Valentine display next year. So pretty. I think the colors in this were Old Hickory for this gold color, and I think this was Cayenne. Let me look. Yes, Weeks Dye Works Cayenne was the red. So much fun. Loved stitching it. So two more pieces for my Valentine display next year. I really got into Valentine's Day this year. I was just starting all the Valentine things, and I put up a big display this year with some felted hearts, and it was a lot of fun. So I've packed it all away. The bunnies are out because it's Easter time. But yeah, so fun. Okay, let's talk about my whips. So the first thing that I worked on, again, I saw Amy at Globetrotting Stitcher stitching this. It's Wool You Be My Valentine by Thistles. I fell in love with that sheep and his sweet little face, and the colors in that cart with the flowers. Oh, I just love that so much. Absolutely beautiful. So I am stitching mine on 32 count Ren. I'm using all the called for colors, 2/2. And I will insert a picture of where I was on this last video here. And here is where I am. Ooh, here is where I am now. So I went to town on this one. I was determined to get that cart done. I absolutely love stitching that blue. It's just such a beautiful color. I love stitching the flowers, and I'm really glad I had started this on Patriots Brew, but I changed it up and I went back to a lighter fabric, and I'm glad I did because I really enjoy how those colors are popping off of there. So such a sweet stitch. I really, really enjoy this one. I want to keep working on it. I do want to get it finished this year. That's the plan. Okay, next is another one I was working on last time. This is by Teresa Kogut, United We Stand. I adore this pattern. I think it was last summer I started this one. I found it on Etsy and I just had to start it, and I'm so glad that I did. Now, I've changed up my colors a bit. This one is beautiful just as it is, but I wanted a little bit more kind of like a primitive, kind of less bright look on mine. So I'm stitching mine on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. I am not using the called for threads. Some of them I did, some of the DMCs I've used. Excuse me one second, I'm gonna take a sip. Thank you. And then some of them I've just gone rogue and done my own thing. So here is a picture of where this was last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I just had a ball with this one. I was really excited as their faces came together and I could get down into those dresses. Just beautiful, such a beautiful pattern. I love that little birdie on her head. I changed her to a brunette like me. And I'm really, really enjoying this one. But I will say, you know, I was like, oh, look, I'm almost done. But no, there is. I mean, for those of you who have seen this pattern, those dresses come down to about here. So there's a lot of stitching left to go, but it's solid stitching, you know? So on those days when you don't feel like such a complicated, have to super pay attention, this is gonna be my plan. And I just love it. I just love how those colors are turning out. It's just the sweetest little pattern. Hey, maybe I could have that done for 4th of July. Maybe. Okay, next, this is a new start. This is a new start. I didn't have a choice. When the mailman delivered it, my hands just did their own thing, and I walked straight to my craft room and put all the threads that I had kitted up for it and everything and got my needle and got started. I could not wait. I have to say, not only was this my very favorite market pattern, but it's one of my very favorite patterns that Plum Street Samplers has published that I've seen. It's just, I adore stitching houses, and this one just, this just rings my bell. This is the day. I mean, the colors in the house and in that flower pot, and then this little flying goat up here, and then the stack of goats with the bird and the butterfly. Oh man, I could not wait. So thanks to Abby at Top Knot Stitcher Shop for sending this to me super quick. I could not wait to get it started, and so I did. It arrived and away I went. Now I decided to stitch mine on 32 count American Chestnut by R&R using all the called for threads. I did make a few changes, which I'll go through. Let me get this up on my board so you can see. So this was a brand new start, and this is where I got to. Isn't that beautiful? The colors in those flowers. And I just have to say, I absolutely adore the flowers and the pink, but then these little pops of blue, which is mint julep is the name of the color. Just, oh my gosh, really bring it to life. The only change that I've made is I wanted my goat to really stand out. I didn't want him to get lost in the background. So I stitched his face and legs with ecru, DMC ecru, and then I used Classic Colorworks Snowball on his body just because I wanted him to kind of stand out a bit more. Yeah, it's so adorable. I love this pattern. So this is one I had a hard time putting down. I started stitching on it, and I just did not want to put it down, which, I mean, that's a good thing, but I had to put it down. Okay, next, this is my Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 Stitch Along. Mine carried over obviously into 2022. This was a 12-part stitch along. You can get all 12 parts now if you go to the Modern Folk Embroidery website. And there was two versions of it. You could do the version where you were actually stitching in the solid color here and the pattern of flowers and motifs came out of the negative space. Or there was a version where you could just not do all that fill-in. I chose the version with the fill-in. The colors that I'm using are 3051, which is a mocha brown, and 3034, which is, no, 3064, which is a dusty rose DMC color. And what I decided to do, I've mentioned this before, but what I decided to do on mine is make it a family sampler. So I am stitching mine on 32 count buttercream. And let me get this big guy up and show you where I'm at. Okay, so this is where I am. You can see in the bottom corner there by my needle minder, that is the block of April. And so let me insert a picture of where I was before here. Okay, that'll be easier for you now, I'm sure, to see the progress. So I continued just filling in all of the space there. Such a fun stitch. You know, it's not difficult stitching, and seeing the little motifs pop out as you go along is just wonderful. I'm really, really enjoying it. And family sampler, I just decided one night, for those of you who are new here, I'll just tell the story really quick. My niece had to go to the ER one night for 105-degree fever, and her and my sister were there, and obviously with COVID, we couldn't go and be there with her, and I was stitching on this and just thinking about them so hard that I just stitched their initials right into the piece. So M for Megan and M for Magnolia. And I just carried that through. The month of January, which is the very first block there, I have an F and an L for Fred and Lolly, my grandparents. In the February block here, I have a D down by the birds for Debbie, who is my mom. And I'm just gonna continue on. Who's ever on my heart and on my mind at that moment when I'm stitching that block, their initial's gonna go right into it. And I'm really enjoying it. So beautiful. A ton of stitching, my goodness. I have a new respect for you full coverage stitchers. When I looked, I think this pattern, I think it has like 47,000 stitches, I think, is what Jacob had written on the intro page. And then I see you guys stitching full coverage with like hundreds of thousands of stitches. Wow, I'm super impressed with you guys because it is definitely a labor of love. Okay, next I got out Flea Market Flowers. This is by Lori Holt. I'm sure you've all seen this one. It's so beautiful. I was thinking of my flower gardens in spring and wanting to get all the spring vibe going. So I brought this one out and I will show you what I got done. So I'm stitching mine on 32 count antique white, 2/2 with all the called for DMC colors. And here is where I got to. So I finished up, I think this yellow and pink flower here. There were portions of it done, but I finished those up and I finished the border. And then I came over here to this big, beautiful motif in the middle and just stitched away. I absolutely love this piece. I can't wait to have it done and have it as a wall hanging in my house, or maybe in a really pretty teal frame like I saw Lori Holt did hers in. Oh gosh, I love that color teal. So we'll see how it ends up getting finished, but first I have to get all this stitching done. I need more arms. Okay, let's see. I've got 2 more whips to go through. So another one that I had to start right away. Now, this was not a market release. I saw my friend Betsy Klager. Hi, Betsy. I saw this on her wall in her last video. She had it beautifully framed behind her, and I couldn't stop staring at it. And that is Mary Clayton by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I absolutely adore this sampler. It's so beautiful. I will say that Hands Across the Sea Samplers, what a great job. They give you this big booklet, and there's a bunch of history and kind of knowledge about the time. I love when I'm stitching a sampler to kind of think about what was it like back then for this girl, what was going on in the world at the time, what might the living conditions have been about. I just like that type of history. And so it was very, very interesting reading about this. And it basically was talking about how in the Victorian era, there were so many orphans and the conditions were pretty deplorable. So they often went to either workhouses or orphanages, and they suspect, there's no confirmation with Mary Clayton, but they suspect based on the cross at the top of this structure that Mary may have been an orphan and that she was actually stitching the orphanage. And if that was the case, it makes me happy because she obviously looked at it in a happy way. There's flowers and angels and birds and big baskets of fruit. So hopefully it was a very positive experience for this sweet girl. But I adore this. I got all the Verosois, is that how we say that? Verosois silks. So I got all the silks. I splurged for the silks, and I'm just in love with this pattern. In love. I'm going to be stitching on it later today, as a matter of fact. So I am stitching mine on 32 count. I believe the one I chose was Cappuccino by Fox and Rabbit. 32 count Cappuccino by Fox and Rabbit. And on this, I have a sweet needle minder that my friend Nikki from Nikki Noodle Stitching sent to me. Thank you, Nikki. It cheered me up so much. And here's Mary Clayton. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, that little angel. I just love it so much. And this antique shop needle minder, I could get lost for hours looking at all the detail in that, Nikki. It's so much fun. There's like little tiny books on the shelf, and just, it's so fun. Whenever I set my needle down, I always take a peek at it. So this is a big piece, obviously, but I love the color of this fabric. Isn't that pretty? It's called Cappuccino, and I'm just really excited to get back to this. Stitching with the silks obviously is wonderful. And this will be like my second, let's see, no, this will be my 3rd reproduction sampler because I have Elizabeth Adelstein still in my whip pile, and Pink Sparrow Sampler, which is unnamed, but that's still a reproduction sampler. So this will be my 3rd one, and I've got the sampler bug. I know you guys have really started getting me on board with these, and I'm just so excited to get back to that one. Okay, last but definitely not least is a stitch along that I'm doing with Amanda at Alba Stitcher. If you have not checked out her channel, please do. She is a joy to watch. She loves stitching. She gets a ton of stitching done. She's got such a happy, positive attitude no matter what happens in life, which I really, really admire, Amanda. Okay, so this is Stitching in Quilt, and this is by, and she says it much better than me, Cuore e Batticuore. So that's my best guess. But Amanda says it so eloquently. So this is actually a series, the In Quilt. There's Halloween in Quilt, Spring in Quilt, Summer in Quilt, Winter in Quilt, Christmas in Quilt. And this one is Stitching in Quilt, and it just reminded me of Strawberry Shortcake so much. The house and her dress, and I love the little mice and the spools of thread. Oh, I love this so much. It's so adorable. And so I purchased all of the patterns. We'll see how many I actually stitch, but we are doing a stitch along, and it's called Stitching the Quilts. Hashtag Stitching the Quilts. I'll put it here. So if you would like to join in, please do, and post your progress on Instagram so we can see how you're doing. I'm stitching mine on 32 count American Chestnut by R&R. I'm using all the called for DMC 2/2, and I apologize, it's a little wrinkly. I just took it out of the Q-snap before this video. And here's where I'm at. Oh, I can't even tell you how much fun it is stitching on this one. Again, it's not a tough stitch. It's not confetti. It's just adorable, simple stitching, and I love it so much. There is quite a bit of back stitch in this, which is not my favorite thing, but it's really going to make things, like there's a needle that comes through here, and she's got a needle with thread. It's really going to make things look cool. So this is, since you last saw it, I've added these 2 flowers here. I finished some of this border, and then I came over here and worked on these flowers. So I'm really having a lot of fun with this one. Such a beautiful pattern. And I'm enjoying stitching along with my friend. Okay, so that's all of the whips that I've been working on. Let's talk about my planned new start. So I saw this pattern, I think it was Michelle at Penny's Daughter Shares. I'm almost positive. Those of you who know me, who've been here for a while, know I'm bunny obsessed. I absolutely love the bunnies. And she showed this and I ran off and purchased it immediately. It is by Lottie Da. It is called B is for Bunny. Isn't that so sweet? Look at that little basket of eggs underneath him. The eggs are 1/1. I love those funky flowers, and I love his color. He's just a really cool color with polka dots. I'm here for it. I think it's so cute, and it is bunny season. So I am going to start B is for Bunny. I have it all kitted up and on my Q-snap, and this is the other needle minder that I got from Nikki at Nikki Noodle Stitching. Thank you so much, Nikki. I love bunnies. And she is just perfect for this pattern. So I am going to be starting that one in the month of April. So in my next video, when you come back, I'll have some progress to show you on that one. I can't resist. I'm trying not to start all the things, but I have to start the bunny. I have to start the bunny. Okay, let's talk more stitchy kindness. So my friend Angie Meyer, who is Bubmie, B-U-B-M-I-E. She has an Instagram and a Flosstube. Go check her out. She's a Snoopy lover like me. Sent me this beautiful card, and I just wanted to share that. I do feel loved, Angie, and I really appreciate that you sent me this. Such beautiful artwork on this. And now let's talk Market Haul. Let's talk Market Haul. Market, like I said, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Market was just incredible this year. So many beautiful patterns. Yeah, I tried to restrain myself. It kind of worked. So let's go through them. Another one I got from Plum Street Samplers was Adorn Your Heart. I love stitching a big house. This is just so sweet to me. Again, with that big flower bouquet and all the colors. The angel flying, that pink house. Oh, that little deer. I'm just seeing that little deer in the corner for the first time. So precious. It says, adorn your heart, adorn your mind with knowledge of the sweetest kind. Love it. The samplers, the reproduction samplers, I'm going down that road. Hannah Dawson, 1831 by Fox and Rabbit. This will only take me about 25 years of my life to stitch. I'm so impressed by some of you stitchers. Nicole's Needlework, you are just like putting out the samplers every other video. You guys are incredibly fast stitchers. I am not, but I'm here for the journey. And so these colors, those little sheep, those little red lions, I think they're lions. I asked Nikki and Betsy, I think they're lions under the tree. This is absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the colors in this one. That's by Fox and Rabbit. Elizabeth Hunt, 1845, age 7 years, with thy needle and thread. Oh, look how sweet that is. I love this big bird down here. And that border is just so beautiful with the flowers. Another red house. Oh, I love this one so much. 7 years old. Can you even imagine? Wow. Another one, Shakespeare's Peddler. This is Jane Summers' work, 1831, and this is absolutely gorgeous, but again, it's huge. Again, wow, I don't even know how I'm going to get that done, but I sure am going to enjoy stitching it. It's so beautiful. Just so soft, and I find in the corners that blue ring around the flower is very interesting, how she did that. So incredible. Doesn't say her age. Oh, it does. Her 10th year. 10 years old. gosh. And lastly, the one I'm going to share is, you've all seen it, Humming of the Bees by Blackbird Designs. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Love the red house. Love the little beehive. I just love how soft it is. So when am I going to stitch all this? And this is not counting. I have, like I told you guys earlier this year, I've made a must stitch list because I needed to start sorting things that I absolutely have to stitch from the things that I just want to stitch because they're cute, because I had to somehow streamline it. And I think my list, including the ones I just showed you, is up to like 65 things. Wow, it's a lot. I know, but isn't it fun? Isn't it fun, even if you don't get to the pattern, just to look at it and admire the artwork? It's so much fun. Okay, let's talk about shout out. So, new Flosstuber that you should definitely go check out. She is so much fun to watch. Her name is Megan, and her channel is Stitching Moon. She loves the moon. She's a mom. She lives in Norway abroad with her husband. She's from the United States. And if I remember correctly, they got married here in the States and then moved to a little town in Norway by a fjord. And she has beautiful pictures of the area and beautiful stitching. She's actually diving into some of her own patterns now, designing some of her own patterns too, which is really fun. So go check Megan out. Tell her I said hi. And let's finish up. We're at half an hour. Let's finish up with the happy card. Okay, what number are we on? 16. Can't believe we've done 16 of these already. Okay, I am worthy. I am enough, and I am worthy of receiving everything I desire. I do not need to prove myself to those who would seek to diminish me. I am worthy. I think I am worthy of all of the patterns that I buy. I am worth it to spend my little budget funds on all of the patterns. But no, on a serious note, you guys know this. I hope you know this. I hope you know that, like Kirsten at 23 Flavors of Stitching says, somebody always needs you. And being in this community is so wonderful. And I hope you feel the love and community from it. And I hope you enjoy communicating with others, even if you can't go to retreats, you know, just touching base with people on Instagram and seeing all the beautiful things. It's just, you're worthy of that. You're worthy of happiness and definitely feeding your craft habit. So until I talk to you guys next time, I'll probably be back in about a month. I have a very, very busy April. Easter is coming. We've got some family parties planned. Yeah, a lot of doctor's appointments. So April's going to be super, super busy. So I'll probably be back at the in a month, in May. And until I see you guys next time, I hope you stitch all the things. I hope you're enjoying the spring weather that's coming. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.